Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Pursuit of Profit. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with your hostess, Leanne Ozaine-Smith. Leanne, do you like host or hostess? Like, what do you prefer?
I don't care. I can roll with either one. I'm not sexist. I don't care.
Okay. I think in our PC world, it has like host is neutral. It's
fine. I'll be the host with the most, or the hostess with the mostest.
We don't say stewardess. We say like flight attendant. You're like, you are the host.
I am the host.
You are the server. You are the pilot. Anyway, here we are. Here we are. And I'm having a hard time committing to jumping into this interview because we're talking about commitment issues.
We're going to talk about commitment.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
What?
Stop right there. Like, well, we got a wine tip.
We have wine tips.
Okay, phew. I'm glad we remembered.
So I went to a wine store because I knew I was going to do this today. And I truthfully forgot. I'd already bought the wine I wanted to review, and then I forgot to bring it to work with me today. And if it's crazy lighting out, it's because there's massive thunder and lightning outside my window here. Yeah. So anyway, I am reviewing today the Heritage wine by the Brown Family Vineyard. Beautiful. It's based out of Walla Walla, Washington. Washington.
Love Walla Walla.
So it's Columbia Valley, and it's 95% cab, which, yes, that's what we like.
Yes.
4% Malbec and 1% Petite Sirah.
Oh, 1%. I love Petite Sirah.
You really tell the Petite Sirah, because you know how Petite Sirah gives you kind of that like dry mouth feeling. It's just enough of it, but it's so fruit forward that it's balanced out. So it's lovely. It's 2016 and it was under $20 and it's awesome. So
sounds awesome.
Bottoms up.
I can't wait to rush out right now. Wait, action for our interview and go get some.
Exactly.
It's called Heritage by Brown
Family Vintners.
Got it. Okay, beautiful.
Out of Walla Walla. It's great, and it's the perfect wine to drink while we talk about commitment issues.
Liquid courage. All right.
Courage. I'm going to throw myself under the bus again. Here we go.
Wait. This episode, you get to throw yourself under the bus. I love those episodes. Okay.
Yep. I need to drink some of this first. Let's go.
Let's go. I always know, like, when you're going to throw yourself under the bus, it's always like a truth bomb, because the reality is, and you guys listening to this know this, like, the reality is, like, and the more we can just get real about it all, the more we have to stop, like, puffing about our financial situation, and we can just actually get to the other side of transforming what isn't working. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, let's go. So
what a concept.
How did this come up? Like, you brought this up to me. So how did this come up?
I know, when we were like green room time, I was like, Chris, I'm struggling with something, and it turned into an episode. So you for those who maybe haven't followed for very long, there's this episode, another one where I throw myself under the bus, where I talk about how there was this moment this year where my business made over $1 million, but my business also spent $1 million, and so there was no profit, and it was awful, and almost ended in divorce. And then it got worse because I was totally stuck in that mentality of it takes money to make money. And the big idea, the big shift that happened for me and for my clients was when we realized that, at least with me at the beginning, that the formula that we all learned in 10th grade accounting class that said income minus expense equals profit is a broken formula. It doesn't work because what it does is it gives us license to spend. So income minus expense equals no profit. I drill this into my clients all the time. Income minus expense equals no profit. That is the reality of what that formula is. That said, when I found myself in my $1 million disaster year, and I still believed at the time that spending money to make money and spending money to create more revenue was going to be the solution and the savior of my business. When I was still thinking that way, I actually went out on top of spending $1 million and borrowed $100,000 and invested it into my business. And so then when this disaster happened to my business and I had to get honest about where I was at, I had to realize, like, I made $1 million, but I spent $1,100,000, and that was an awful season of my life. And I have come out of it, but I came out of it with some really strong muscles in certain areas.
Yeah.
And I came out of it.
Yes.
With some shit.
Yes. Right. Okay.
And so when people come to work with me, one of the things that is kind of a huge aha and paradigm shift is we get really honest that income minus expense equals no profit. And then after we've like reconciled that in our brain, then we step over and we decide that not all expenses are equal, and neither is all of our income. And so we start to sort expenses in the terms of, this is a profitable spending, this is BS spending, like let's be honest about it. And so one of the things I teach people is that if we get really clear about that and we understand profitable expenses are great, we want them, that's a good place to spend money, and BS expenses are expenses that we can't hold accountable for return. And so what I help people visualize with that is that you have a gas pedal and you have a brake for your business. When you don't see all of your expenses as equal, when you see them as different, then you, the business owner, can start to say, hey, I know exactly where to put my foot on the gas and I know when to put my foot on the brake. These are all really positive things, but like anything that's good or any strength, when pushed to a limit, it can become our weakness. And so,
like what? Can you give me an example? Give me an example. Like what?
I was going to use myself as an example.
I'm teeing up for you.
So I have this thing about me where I recovered from this $1,100,000 disaster. And I just committed to myself I would never get there again. And part of, I think, what I took away from that is that I do not believe the lie that spending money on my business is going to make me profitable. I don't believe that lie because I see it be proven all the time that it's a lie. But I believe it to the point where I think I've slipped over the wall into thinking that I should never spend any money on my business. And so I am here to confess to the world that while I believe this 100%, I really struggle with making the decision to invest in my business. And so rather than giving myself permission to use the gas pedal, I just have a brake. And I just like to keep my foot on the brake.
I just have a brake. Awesome. Perfect metaphor. Oh my God.
This is terrible. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Perfect metaphor.
Am I blushing? Is it warm in here?
It might be the light. I think it's just the ring light.
Just the lighting. It's the lightning outside. So I think it's a problem. And I'm starting to see this manifest as well in my clients. And so that's what I brought to the table today to talk about.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. I get it. Listen, I know. Well, I think here's what showed up for me as you were saying that. Like, I think, like the pendulum swings. If you go too far this way of like where I think most of us are is we're going to spend money on money to try to figure out how to fix the problem, how to grow the business 10x overnight.
Right.
And so our pendulum goes so far this way that it's just natural. It's makes sense that then whoosh, the pendulum swings the other side and we're like, I'm not spending money on nothing. Like I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm going to bootstrap it. I'm going to network. I'm going to prospect. I'm going to do anything, but I'm not going to spend money to grow my business because I've tried it and it didn't work. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm skeptical of everybody that's trying to sell me something.
Yep.
So we're going to grow this the slow way.
Well, and I would say for me, my business is really blessed. It's prosperous. Like I don't have the capacity to go take on 150 new clients in a month. Like I can't do that. But one of the things I've learned from you, Chris, is one of the many is, just this, I really believe this message that you're about of like deliver value and be present and be honest and like don't preach to people, don't market to people, invite people into a conversation.
Yeah. And
sometimes that means that we have to put ourselves out there. Well, probably always, which is not my strength. But,
you're doing great.
I find myself in a place where I'm like, okay, in order to do that, in order to bring my important work to the world, yes, I have to be willing to do some stuff. I have to spend some money on some infrastructure. And some opportunities came to me this week, and that's what they are. They're just opportunities. But I found myself just kind of being like, No, I don't want to sign a 6-month contract to promise to spend money with another business that I actually like to do work with. But I found myself just being like, no, like put the foot on the brake.
Commitment issues. They asked for like to move in together and you're like, nope.
Like we're staying in the dating forever.
You want to grab drinks? I'll grab drinks. I'm not giving you a key to my place.
No way. I'm not signing a financial
contract.
No
toothbrush. Yeah.
Irony, this is so terrible. I'm like totally confessing on TV, essentially.
It's perfect.
I'm like, I make people sign financial contracts with me all the time.
Oh, interesting.
Like if like today I did something like 12 hours, literally heads down, 12 hours of financial planning for some families. And it's all under contract. Every minute of that was under contract. So here I am needing to make a business decision about investing in some stuff for my business. And I just want to put my foot on the brake because I don't want to sign a contract.
Oh, I love the self-awareness. This is so, you know what's, it's fascinating. The way you just said that reminded me, I was just thinking, it was like yesterday or today or both. I don't know. I was like, there are a lot of people who will want to charge full price for their services, which totally makes sense.
Yes.
And then when it comes to like what they're willing to invest in, they're always trying to nickel and dime or find the discount or barter or whatever it is. And not willing to pay full price, but they want to get paid full price. Yeah. And it's funny because the mirror of that,
yes,
like where I've started to come to in my own evolution of this money/business thing is like, if I want full price, I need to be willing to pay full price as long as I do my due diligence to make sure that this is not even the service, but the person I want to invest in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great distinction.
Yeah.
The other side of this, and I've been seeing this pop up, and it might be that I'm attracting my tribe.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Yeah. But one of the things that keeps popping up is there's an artificial sense of security in like hoarding profits or hoarding money. Yeah. So I'll use myself as an example, and then I'm going to use a client as an example. Yeah, so I am one such person that just loves to get people when we roll out their profit plans. This is no secret. I have people opening multiple bank accounts, and one of them is a profit account, and one of them is a BS account, and like we roll these things out. But a lot of times people struggle because what they're used to doing is one pot cooking, where they put all of their money in one account and they like seeing a big number, yes. Right? Yeah. Like, it's like a big number. And so then Miss Leanne comes along and says, that big number is not serving you. We need to shift it, move it around, right? Yeah. So then my clients courageously like let go of that. And they it's like yesterday I literally looked a client in the eye and said, all right, you either trust me or you don't. You're either going to take the leap of faith or you're not. But now is the time. You either move this money or you don't. If you don't, we are done. Like, what are we going to do? And so she was like, I do trust you. I will do it. But I'm just scared because she's so used to seeing that big number.
Yep.
A lot easier to talk about my client. Then when I talk about myself, I'm like, well, I like to see big numbers in all of my accounts.
I love this.
Every single one of them. I'm like, I'm not spending money out of there.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So I just don't like to see money leave my business. Yeah. I like to see my profit completely maximized. And there's an element here where I'm recognizing that I need to grow. I do believe that there are things I can choose to spend money on that will be investment quality, where I'll see return on investment, right?
You know, it's interesting when you get to the space where you have the cushion or you have the profit account that is filled. It's filled and huge. But you're afraid to spend it. You're afraid to go back to old patterns. So you have some old tapes running, but it's full. I think there are new, the rules of the game change. So when you invest, where in the past, when you take the money, invest, it was because you were trying to find the thing that would crack the code and break you free and off you go. But this time it's not about that. The conversation is different. And it's about how do I invest this money to grow my impact? And that is a different investment than trying to chase 10x programs and 10x books and all that stuff. Like you're actually investing with with more of a sense of who you are and more a sense of what you're doing. And so even if it's not an immediate return, which is sort of old tape investing, you old tape investing is I'm investing hoping to get a 10x return overnight. That doesn't exist.
No.
And now you invest with like, listen, I know that this is good work. I'm putting this good work out in a scalable way.
Yep.
Trusting that when I put out good things in the world, it comes back. I don't know. That's how I'm interpreting this, but is that how you see it?
Yeah. Coach me, Chris.
Well, I'm not coaching. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, before we got on camera, I have already signed the contract. Like I did it, right? I'm going to invest this money, but it was a matter of really getting to the place where I recognize like this is a blind spot for me. And I talk to people about their money all day long. And the reality of it is at times, and I've said this for years, that financial advisors need financial advisors because we cannot be completely objective about our own money. We can't, right? So I have a financial advisor that looks at my money, even though I'm a financial planner myself. Like I know how to do my own investments. You gotta be kidding me. But I still have a financial advisor because we need them. We need somebody outside of us at times, especially with the area of money, to have speak and input into our lives.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I want to do like an exercise. Can we do an exercise?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's try something. What I want to do is, and you can use yourself or you can use like collective, tribe.
Right.
I don't care.
Okay.
I think it'll translate either way. If we look at like, okay, the pendulum has swung. We went from spending all sorts of money to try to crack the code at 10x overnight. And we're like, oh, that doesn't work. So we're going to go the other direction and we're going to be like, I'm not going to spend anything. So while that's good and our coffers fill up, what is the problem with that?
False sense of security.
Okay. Tell me more. What do you mean?
It gives me, I'll pick on myself. It gives me a false sense of security that I have big bank accounts, and that makes me feel secure. And I call it a false sense of security because this is still a business. I am still a human being with a family. I need to take my profits as well. And so there's this really big part of me that wants to hold on to money in a way that maybe isn't healthy at times. And by holding on to it that way, I'm basically lying to myself that I am safe and I am secure. That's not true. Big bank accounts don't make me safe and secure.
What are the risks? Like somebody could say, I could cash that. It's very liquid. I could take that out of the bank tomorrow, put it under my mattress, and I'd be very liquid. Like why is it not safe?
Because I'm running a business and I have people who work for me and I need to do things and invest in my business. I cannot just it's like that parable of the talents. I can't take my talents and bury them in the ground, right? Real investing means taking a little bit of risk, but doing it in a calculated way. And like I tell my clients, like your profitable expenses, we will hold them accountable for return, but defining return isn't as easy as it sounds.
Okay, so let's take this a step further. So there's this perspective of like, there's this commitment issue of like, my coffers are full. I'm not gonna invest in my business because I don't want to change what feels safe. I feel safe, and if I do something outside of what I'm doing now, I won't feel safe because I'm changing my plan. So what is the impact in other areas of your life when you are afraid to commit to the growth of your business? Like, how does that spill over into other areas of life? I don't know what you're going to say. I'm just curious what comes up. Or you could use your tribe if we're getting too personal.
No, I don't mind being personal. I think for me, it shows up as playing in a a kiddie pool a little bit. Like, all right, I can't drown in this place. It might be 150 degrees outside, and I'm sitting in a cool body of water, but I feel really safe in the kiddie pool. Like, I can't drown, I can't die. And so the impact, the affect is the ripples are smaller. And I've shifted to a place where, like, Chris, it's just like nothing more rewarding to me as a professional than when I see a business owner and just like they go through the shift and they get clear and they understand what they should do with their money and they're inspired and they're just like doing the right things and they're happy with their business again. And when I look at that, I'm like, I need to do more of this. It's exactly what I meant to do in the world. Like, I had my disaster so that I could find and break the code that income minus expense does never equals profit, right? And so if I stay in a kiddie pool and I'm scared to get into like 3 feet of water, then I'm gonna stay in the shallow instead of going into the deep end.
Okay, so that's perfect. And if I added to how I'm interpreting that,
sure,
you know, and I know you, so like if I think about who I know you to be and who I think you are,
sure,
right? Like, you are an influencer. You have a big difference to make. You have a contribution for not 10 people, not 100 people, but tens or hundreds of thousands of people.
Yes.
And then if you actually compare that to like what you're doing now in the kiddie pool, you're like, if you stay in the kiddie pool, then I think you move forward in life starting to feel like a fraud or starting to feel behind or starting to feel it's not a business conversation anymore. Now it's a spiritual or soul conversation where you're starting to feel like, dude, I was made for more.
Yep.
And I'm not living into my potential.
Yep.
And that starts to undermine. You start, if you've ever been to this place, and most of your listeners have been, if you've ever been to the place where you know that you were made for more, but you're playing small, you start to feel like a fraud. You start to feel like you feel like you've given up. You feel small. And that erodes your confidence as the big person. You're the big person you are.
Yep. Oh, there is so much truth to that. I'm totally throwing myself under the bus here. But I actually had a client say to me this week, this is kind of an aside, but I did my callback for TED Talks this week.
Nice.
And it was something else.
Yeah, it was. I remember the story.
Lots of preparation, lots of really like soul searching and like getting beyond. For me, it was a big step because people for a few years have been saying you need to do this, and I've been like, I don't think nope, I'm not. No. So it was a big step to even say, yeah, I have something so important to tell the world that. Yeah. I'm going to take a stage at TED Talks and I'm going to kill it. Right. So that's kind of the backstory. But I had this client and they knew, or this family, they knew what I was going to do. And they've heard me speak before. And they said to me, you know what we've noticed is that you really downplay always. You always downplay like your accomplishments or what you've done. And I push back and I'm like, well, yeah, because it's not the Leanne show. It's not about me. Like, this is about what my clients accomplish. Like, I don't change their businesses. They do.
Right.
But they were all up in my face about my, being small in my own conversation is like maybe what you would call it.
Yeah.
And I think that has a direct impact on what I'm willing to invest in as a human being and as a business owner. Can't believe I just said that.
Oh, that is like, we're back and out there. Stuff out. No, but right. Because, it's good. That's good, Leah, because listen, like when there's always a gap between where you are and where you see yourself being, right? Like here's where I am today, how I see myself, what I want to create. Cause we're always expanding. You go, this is where I want to be. And that opens up a gap between where I am and where I want to be. And that, and there is, it's a faith conversation because at some point you investing money out of your profit account or however you're going to spend money and invest in your business becomes a physical demonstration of your faith in who you are and where you're betting on yourself.
Yes.
And your unwillingness to go from here to here is demonstrating whatever level of faith you have in yourself. And I think when we're young and we're dumb and we are investing in 10x strategies overnight, we believe so much in ourselves until it doesn't work. And then we don't believe in ourselves at all.
Right.
And so we won't do anything. And then there is this pendulum that like slows down and comes to the middle ground. And it's now about, I don't have to do either. I don't have to invest recklessly, or spend recklessly, and I don't have to be hoarding money. There is this middle ground where I know myself, I know where I am, I know where I want to go. I can intelligently investigate opportunities, and when one comes that is in alignment with where I want to go and who I am, I can spend money because I'm willing to invest in who I am and where I need to go. And I believe in faith that will, because that's what it is. It is faith. You have no crystal ball. You don't know.
Of course not.
I think when we're young, we think, well, I'm going to spend money and I want to know that it's going to do it. Or we think we know that it's going to happen. We don't. You never know. You never know.
No, you don't.
You could invest in the stock market and think it's a sure bet until the bottom falls out. And then
or real estate.
I mean, right. Yeah. So it is an act of faith to invest in yourself, but your investment is truly a direct reflection of how you feel about you and your vision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like,
there's truth to that. I think truly and honestly, I believe in myself. I do. I think I have a pretty, I believe a pretty healthy sense of self, I think. But I also spend all of my time talking to human beings about what they're spending money on and what they believe about money. And I've seen every train wreck, including my own, and I've seen success. And that kind of stuff shapes you. Yeah. And I think that my default behavior has become, it is better to run a business. I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but it's like what I'm trying to let go of right now.
Yeah.
I don't need my business. I do not need my business to be at an 85% profit margin, which it is, because I am so frugal, right? And careful, because I've already wasted millions of dollars. So I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
But I'm always telling my clients that if your business is at a 55% profit margin, then I'm like completely over the moon, stellar impressed. And so what I'm trying to let go of is that it can be true for me because there is something big I'm supposed to do in the world. And I think it applies to my clients as well. Like it's so easy for me to look at somebody else's business and say, that's a really good place to invest money. Do that. Like go, right? Because I'm not emotionally connected to it. I don't go to bed with their checkbook every night, their checkbook on my mind. I go to bed with mine on my mind. And it's an area that I'm admitting I have commitment issues. And I'm putting myself out there to say, guys, I signed the contract. Yeah. And I get to grow.
Yes.
Capacity. So
well, let's do this. We can wrap this episode with simply saying, like, I think what we really painted the picture of the problem. Like what's like, this is you all listening to this have potential for more than where we are.
Yeah.
That's just human nature. We always have the ability to expand and grow. And most of us, I think, are gun shy on money, whether it's investing it or saving it or spending it. Like you're at some you're in that continuum somewhere.
Yep.
And, but what's possible on the other side of all of that is that money could work for you. And in the past, that's not our experience. Money is like this thing we can't figure out. Money is this thing that beats us down. Money is this thing that we don't have enough of, whatever it is. But what's possible is money could actually work for you. Mm-hmm. It could actually be employed by you.
Yep.
To generate a return.
Yep.
In a way that feels safe, doesn't have to feel reckless, can feel safe.
Yeah.
And you could actually live into all the things you put on your vision board. You could live into all the things you've dreamed for your life and your business. That's what's possible on the other side of you investing in yourself when you do it in a way that is intelligent, right? Is
and with a plan.
is smart. And perfect. And what that opens up then is, well, then if that's what's possible, how do I do that? And I think the way you do that is with a plan. And I think that's where your profit coaching has been so instrumental for people, is that it gives them the plan to go from where they are, whether it's hoarding money or recklessly spending it, to being able to appropriately think about money and invest it in a way that serves them, instead of one where they feel enslaved to it. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
So good.
Preach, Chris, preach.
Come on. Well, if people want to, let's just wrap with that. If people want to reach out to you to start a conversation, create a profit plan, like where can people connect with you? Because this is where we need to go to work.
Yep. ProfitDiscoveryCall.com. And I provide a 40-minute consultation where we talk about your business and what's going on, and begin the process of identifying places that you need to put your foot on the brake and places that you need to put your foot on the gas pedal, like me. And we go from there.
So good. I loved this episode. This might have been one of my favorites. Like, this was a definitely, it felt different with you. I don't know, because maybe you're throwing yourself under the bus, but I love
throw myself under the bus.
Those are my favorite episodes, maybe.
They're
anyway,
good for us.
Great stuff, Leanne. Thank you so much for being so generous. Congratulations on all your success, and I look forward to our next episode.
Thank you. Me too.
See ya.